there is a very profound role that student care centres can play in this ecosystem of care. What was the possibilities that you saw that still that exist in like the current student care landscape in Singapore? What's working well about it? What doesn't work well? And maybe for people who are listening, like, what the heck is a student care centre? Give them a tiny little crash course on that.
Sure. Okay, so primary school, mainstream primary school ends schools at about 1 o'clock. Sometimes you've got CCA, sometimes you've got extra lessons and so on, maybe until 3:30.
Yeah.
So parents don't end work by then, and sometimes there's no one at home, or there will only be the helper or grandparents, right? And that support is needed.
Yeah.
Just like the child care, just like infant care. So student cares were set up to allow the child to have a safe space to go to look after until parents finish work at about 7 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, and pick them up.
Yeah.
So in a society like ours, where we have many dual income families, I think it is a completely necessary service in that sense. But that is also how the student care started adopting that, okay, it's just a sort of a babysitting service, right? Where all the learning has already been done in school.
Yeah.
We don't take care of the learning.
Yeah.
We just take care of housing your child, after school, feeding him or her, maybe a space for him or her to rest and do their homework.
Yeah.
And I think parents appreciate this part about homework a lot, because after a long day of work, you don't want to go home to say that, hey, you haven't done your homework. Tomorrow you've got a spelling, and then how shall we prepare for it? And then it starts evolving to that, think about, how can my child do better in academic, because this is still so important in Singapore. And so student care also start having tuition, added services, right? Top up a bit to have English tuition, Chinese tuition, they'll bring in tutors. And sometimes student care even worked with other tuition centres and and they will even ferry your child to the centre. So it's still very much beyond babysitting. It's still very much academic focus. Yeah. Of course, in recent years, besides academic, we want our child to be holistic. So student care also start evolving and say, okay, we'll offer coding lesson. Yes. We'll offer an enrichment of piano or speech and drama or something like that. When Shaina started to talk about wanting to go into something education, I was suggesting to her, and because that time was also my own kids were in primary school, and I always wonder, what can I do for them in that half a day? And it cannot be after sitting in a classroom for morning 7:30 to 1, I expect them to sit in another classroom until 7 p.m. when I can go and pick them up. So and that whole student care landscape is also in a way not so much regulated, unlike preschool in Singapore now, where teachers' qualification, any structure or any program, there's nobody overseeing it. School-based student care started to take roots in school. And those school-based ones, they will have the school guiding them on how to look into the program. But many still needed that community-based kind of student care. And the community-based student care really has got nobody, no authority looking after them. And then so it can be really quite uneven. And because it's uneven, it was also an opportunity. I say, as long as you have the heart, I'm more than happy to mentor you in this journey to see what can we do. What can we offer something different? And to me, as a parent of primary school going kids then, I was very much concerned about their well-being, not just physical, and also their character development. And so I told Shaina, let's think about along that line. And she was, of course, very excited then.
So I grew up in a family with many entrepreneurs. So my parents shares with me that when you do a business, do a business that you find joy and meaning.
Wow.
Profit is important, of course, for sustainability, but you must find joy, and you must find the joy even when you are 50 years old, 60 years old.
Wow. Preach it, Shaina's parents.
And as a new mom, I think my connection was I want an environment where I can teach positive values. I want an environment that actually teaches our children how to take care of themselves. We are not like throwing them in the deep end of the pool. We are not throwing them in the forest and say, okay, sort it out. We are journeying with them, providing them and teaching them the tools so that they can be self-sufficient kids. I think that's the key. Self-sufficient kids, we cannot take it literal, like you need to sort it out yourself, but more like providing them those tools, the environment, even role modeling how as an adult we manage our own emotions. I felt that I think student care would be the best approach because the child will be with us for at least 5 hours a day. And we're talking about 100 hours a month. And that 100 hours, I thought that it would be perfect for us to do the magic or to live with each other, basically. For the educators in a student care to live with the child. And for the child to probably absorb and learn and also be comfortable in that safe space.
I just want to slow it down so the listeners can catch this, right? So one of the things that you said is like self-sufficient kids, and we all want like the kids to be self-sufficient, but you're not going to get self-sufficiency by self-sufficiency alone. You need to give them that story that your environment is sufficient to give you that safety that you can be self-sufficient too, right? And if I translate that into like attachment theory kind of language, it's that beautiful like equation of I am okay, the environment is okay. That is the most secure and positive space that you could possibly be in. Because if I have a self-sufficient kid, but the story you tell them is, be self-sufficient, kid, because the world sucks. The world's out to get you. You know, like it's a dangerous world out there. Then all you're creating is a kid with a lot of, they may be self-confident, but they also cannot trust anyone else. And they're like, I will have like, don't know how to relate to people. And actually, that also means they can't experience joy.